What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be continuing my conference tournament bracket predictions. This one is the Big East. So let's get to it. Butler versus Providence. This is really an inconsequential game. Neither of these teams are going to be making the tournament, so I believe I'm just going to go with Butler in this one. Georgetown and DePaul, again, same deal here. Neither of these teams are tournament bound. Ed Cooley's had a rough year in his first year at Georgetown, but you got to give these things time. But I do think Georgetown will get a win. Villanova and Seton Hall. Villanova was, I think they were in the running for a tournament bid, but I don't think they've done really enough down the stretch to warrant that level of appreciation from the committee. And rightfully so, they really haven't had a great year. But with that being said, I still think they're going to get the win over Seton Hall. Then in the quarters, we got the number one seed St. John's. The Johnnies having an outstanding year. Rick Pitino, the turnaround that Rick Pitino has done with this team is incredible. They were like decent last year. They didn't make the tournament, but they were decent. Um, before or I don't even know if they were decent. They were obviously okay. They weren't a tournament quality team last year, which kind of speaks for itself. Granted, it was his first year, and now in his second year, he's got them as the one seed in the Big East tournament. They won the regular season championship, and they're looking at, I think, a projected three seed right now in the Big Dance. So that'll be fun to watch them. A little bit of old school ball too, because they were good in the past. And I don't think they're gonna have any trouble with Butler in this one, especially playing in front of the home crowd at MSG. Marquette and Xavier. Marquette, this is surprising to see them as the five seed because I feel like when you look at the Big East list of teams, I personally would put them at second best, just behind St. John's. Cam Jones has had another stellar year, even in the absence of Tyler Kolek. He's really stepped up and become like that guy for Marquette this year. But even with all the preseason accolades and their incredible individual performances, they've struggled a little bit, and now they find themselves at fifth, and they're taking on a Xavier team who is fighting for their tournament lives. They're really trying to get into this tournament. This is a huge game for them. They got Zach Freemantle playing well, but I think the experience of Marquette is really understated here, and I think that they are going to get this win over Xavier. Then we got Creighton and Georgetown. I feel like this one doesn't need much explanation. Creighton, obviously not as good as they were last year. You lose a guy like Baylor Shireman, you're not going to be the same. But even though they lost Pop Isaacs for the season with an injury, like right at the beginning of the season, they're still playing. I think they're playing above their expectations considering that injury to Pop Isaacs. And they still got Kalkbrenner and Ashworth, the glue guys. And so I don't think they're going to have much trouble with Georgetown. And then UConn, who's rattled off a couple wins now. They're playing better. And I'll tell you what, if UConn gets hot, it could be very dangerous for any team that sees them in March Madness. And this is really the perfect time for them to get hot. Get out here, get a couple wins under their belt in the Big East tournament, get some momentum. Taking on Villanova, who, like I said, is not really in the tournament contention right now. And I think UConn is going to get this win. Then in the semis, Marquette and St. John's. These two just played a thriller at Marquette the other week. An overtime buzzer beater for St. John's, which was just an incredible game. And so I feel like they're pretty evenly matched, but I think the home crowd of St. John's at MSG is really going to make a difference. And I know that kind of sounds like a cop out, maybe, but I seriously do think it's going to make a difference. And St. John's has been the class of the Big East this year, so I'm going with them. UConn and Creighton, then, um, probably the two best teams last year from this conference, uh, in a really important matchup here. And I think that Creighton is going to struggle matchup wise a little bit against the bigger guards and the really skilled forwards with Liam McNeely and Alex Caravan from UConn. And I think UConn's going to kind of exploit that. And then they got guys who can light it up off besides those two if those two end up struggling. So I'm going to go with UConn. And then in the championship, we got UConn and St. John's. St. John's swept the season series. They won both games, which is something that you really don't hear like ever against UConn, considering they're the back-to-back defending champs. But I think that St. John's, they've been the best, and I think that they're going to be playing inspired for a chance to get their first Big East title, tournament title, and who knows how long. They're gonna come out here really playing hard. I think UConn could definitely win this game. I could totally see them winning, but I do think that under the bright lights of MSG and just the complete like the completedness, I guess, that we've seen out of St. John's is gonna be enough to get them the championship title. So I'm going with St. John's. So let me know what you guys think. I got the Johnnies winning it all as the 1 seed. I feel like that's not a super bold pick, but let me know if you guys agree, disagree in the comments. And of course, I'll see you in the next one.